But actually, I'm getting a request from the chat, and that the listeners want to hear Matt's take on Holy Foley as we've.
Good luck, Matt. I've sat down 6 times to watch that show and got through a combined 2.5 episodes.
I want to hear Eric talk about it a little bit first.
None of them know how to act. And even when they went to the WWE offices, and those could have just been actors, they were horrible. Like when Dewey came in and was like, Dewey Foley. Foley? Like Mick Foley? It was the dumbest thing ever. And there are no good storylines.
I've only seen one episode, and
you're a smarter man than I.
Eric, I can't watch anymore. I can't.
Matt, I'm going to tell you, I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. Do not ever put it back on again.
I need therapy.
Well, I would rather watch Swerved.
Swerved is a great show.
See?
Okay, we're not talking about Swerved, damn it.
All right, let's.
You know what the ultimate Swerve
I would rather watch Camp WWE, and I only watched one episode of that, and I didn't want to watch anymore. But if I had to sit down now, I'd pick that.
You know what the ultimate Swerved would be? If I fucking went to watch the Cruiserweight Classic and instead got blasted with
and R-Truth dancing across the screen.
Yeah, and fucking Merc Ferky and Nurple Ferky and fucking Derpy Ferky on Herky Ferky on the WWE Network, where with fucking Mick Foley going through all of his fucking. I only watched one episode. Look, I can't do that. I've already done this like 7 times, and it's been like 2 weeks since I've watched it. But this show was so bad. This was the worst form of entertainment that's ever been put together, ever compiled. I'm talking music, garage bands, anything that any garage band has ever done, any awful pop music that you hate, just an awful like square note, like an awful note that's just played for 3 minutes. That's better than this. Movies. Think about the worst movie you've ever seen. The Room, maybe? I don't know. That's better than this. Even if it's longer, that's better than this. Fucking Chrisley Knows Best. This is like the fucking Dr. Thunder of Chrisley Knows Best. Like, this makes Chrisley Knows Best look like an Emmy. Like, it should win every
Chrisley
single
Knows
Emmy.
Best already looks like an Emmy award-winning show.
This is like WWE's version of Chrisley Knows Best, and it's failing more. I hate Chrisley Knows Best. I don't move any faster than I do after Raw when they immediately start airing a Chrisley Knows Best when I go to get my remote. I have cat-like reflexes when I do that. But just, like, think about everything you get on the WWE Network. Pay-per-views, all of the pay-per-views, all of the archives of all of the great historic wrestling, even hidden gems that they've just uploaded, documentaries, in-depth discussions and Table for Three, shoot interviews basically with guys like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, all of the great things you get on the network for only $9.99 a month. And having said all of that, it was all worth it until Holy Foley got on the network, and now it's like a cancer. It's like a disease spreading into everything else. Like, Holy Foley, to get into more specifics, Eric was absolutely right. There is nothing about this show that's redeeming. Nothing. The acting is the worst ever. The acting is so bad. The writing is horrible. Horrible. Like, Mick Foley basically just casually told us about his entire life story, like in these totally real scenarios that happened. Like, when people go to me and they're like, well, why do you complain about reality shows being fake? Like, you know that they're fake, right? I mean, it's like complaining about wrestling being fake. It's like, no, it's slightly different. But what I hate is that they're trying to insult my intelligence and make me believe that any aspect of this is real. I don't believe that Nurgle Ferky is Mick Foley's daughter. I don't think that she's actually his daughter. I think she was hired, and she is a poor actress. She's some model from somewhere who is now playing the role of Merc Ferky's daughter. And I have serious problems when the first fucking thing I see is Mick Foley being like, yeah, I just traded in my car and got a minivan because I'm a dad now. It's like, are you kidding me? You have 4 adult children. You are not just now getting a minivan, you dumbass. Don't fucking insult my intelligence. And of course, how many times do we have to establish throughout the course of this episode that, boy, that Mick Foley, he sure is quirky. He sure does love his Christmas music. Jingle bells, I love Christmas music. That is an important part of my character. I don't have an ear, and I was a New York Times best-selling author. Do you know everything about me? Yes, everybody who's watching this god-awful program already knows everything about Mick Foley. Okay? You don't have to fucking beat us over the head with it. When his stupid fucking son was going through his stupid fucking storyline about how, well, Dad, I have something to tell you. I don't know why he's AJ Styles, but he had something he wanted to tell us.
Not now, Dirkle.
Not now, damn it, I'm busy. We're gonna have a clown baby. I mean, they just ran that into they ran that into the damn ground. They're gonna have a clown baby, and you know, when Mick was like, "Why do you like to write, Dewey?" and fucking Derpy Ferky was like, "Well, it's easy." And Mick was like,
"Wait,
well,
Dewey is Derpy Ferky?"
Yeah.
I thought the other son was Derpy Ferky.
Oh, Eric. Oh my God.
I could see why you would think that, though. I could see why you would think that. But anyway, Merc is just like, Derpy, you know I'm a 2-time New York Times best-selling author, right? And he was like, so also I don't have an ear. I don't know if you knew that. Let me show you. I don't have an ear. Is the camera getting this? I don't have an ear. And then Derpy Ferky, of course, his thing is he just can't get a word in. His family's so crazy. He just can't get a word in. He's the straight man of the family, you see. And Merc, of course, was so upset that in his Santa room, which is totally real because he really loves Christmas, he took out his teeth and threw them on the ground. I'm so upset. Let me take out my fake teeth and throw them on the ground because that's something real people do. And then the end, of course, with Nurple being like, Dad, I want to be a wrestler. And Mick was like, oh, I can't take this anymore. And you know, somebody wrote on the script, like, Mick Foley rushes out in a huff. But like, Mick Foley can't rush. He fucking has 2x4s as legs basically that can't bend. So it looks like he's like his legs are sawed off and he's walking on stilts constantly. So he like waddles out of the fucking room. His fucking 400-pound ass waddles out of the room. And who should ever ring the doorbell at that exact very moment but the clown that they've been teasing the entire time? Oh, and Merc opens the door, and who's there with a bunch of flowers and a bottle of wine and in full face paint? Then the fucking clown that's
and there's a camera shot of the door opening from the outside, so he's out there with an entire camera crew.
But when it switches to Merc, you don't see the camera crew. They scatter, and Merc shuts the door on the clown because he can't take this shit anymore. He's so fed up with it.
He can't even.
I have never been less entertained. I watched this with Robbie, and Robbie can attest to the fact.
I like how he lectures about being a hardcore legend, and then he's like, but a clown is at my house. I can't handle a clown.
Yeah, and like
I had my ear ripped off.
Throughout the entire episode, Nurgle was going around to her family and being like, I have something I want to tell you, but I can't tell you right now. And they were all like, are you going to have a clown baby? Are you pregnant with a little clown
Is it Simple Jack?
I don't fucking know anymore. It's his mom. And then the funny thing is, like, she was going to tell him at dinner. They switched clothes like 4 times throughout the course of this afternoon. Fuck this show. This is the worst form of entertainment I've ever had to digest or witness. I will never sit through another episode of it. Ever. I'm so insulted that somebody put this together. And
Matt, you want to watch one together?
No.
We'll just put it on. Play it over the audio. We'll all listen to it together.
I don't know if it was on a WWE program or if it was like a YouTube ad that I had to sit through, but there was another one where Mick goes into a WWE like the warehouse, and he just so happens to walk into the area where the gobbledygooker outfit is like on display, but it's like on display. They're trying to make it seem like it was stored away, but it was like clearly propped up and facing the camera so that Mick would run into it. So he puts on the gobbledygooker, but he was like, he did it in such a way that was so fucking fake. He was like, is that the gobbledygooker that debuted on September 12th, 1993 Survivor Series on the same show?
night as The Undertaker?
Yeah, and it's like, wow, you have a good memory for a guy who can't remember a fucking line on Monday Night Raw! With his fucking CTE fucking tapioca pudding brain. And he just so happened to fucking remember the exact day that the fucking gobbledygooker debuted. And he put on the gobbledygooker helmet and he said, Noelle, look, I'm poultry in motion!
Did Matt just die?
And Nurgle Ferky was like, poultry in motion, Dad? Seriously? And he was like, poultry in motion. And she was like, poultry in motion? Really? And he was like, poultry in motion. And she was like, really, Dad? Poultry in motion? And he was like, poultry in motion, Nurgle. And she was like, really, Dad? Poultry in motion? And he was like, poultry in motion, Nurgle. And she's like, yes, Nurgle, really. Poultry in... And she was like, It's like... And that's Herky Ferky on the WWE Network for only $9.99.
Did she heavy burtations during that scene?
She turned into, like, a melting wax figure. I don't know. I can't handle how bad it is. It's the worst program ever. Will, have you seen it?
Yes.
Will watched he binge watched the whole season.
No, I did not. I watched the first episode because I couldn't find the remote after whatever pay-per-view that aired after.
Someone we talked to binge watched the whole thing. I thought it was you.
Wait a minute. I don't care if you would find the remote. Rip the fucking cord out of the TV. Rip the Chromecast out. Break your phone in half. Smash your Xbox. Don't touch that.
Hit your TV with a brick like Mick Foley did. Didn't he throw a brick because Daniel Bryan didn't win the Royal Rumble through a 13-inch screen? Or he hit it with a bat? Something like that. It was really weak, but he couldn't really move his arms very well.
So yes, that's Herky Ferky. I hope everybody that wanted me to talk about that is so satisfied right now because I had to just relive a terrible experience.
Well, hopefully SmackDown will make it a little bit better.
I mean,
you just wore Matt out. His tank is empty.